Phyllis from the Doll Corner, and welcome to my channel. And today I want to show you how I made this little dress from my basic pattern. And the last video I did was on this little petticoat, and it's basically from the same pattern. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about Mother's Day. Mother's Day's coming up very soon, and it's a little hard to get out sometimes well, we're all locked down here, so there's nothing open pretty much but the grocery stores. So it's hard to go out and pick something out for your mother. But I was thinking, if your mother likes to sew, and if she likes dolls, she might like this doll pattern book. And if you have dolls, she'd be able to make you some doll patterns out of it, or doll clothes out of it. Let's see. And all you have to do is go to my Etsy shop, and you can order it, and it'll be downloaded onto your computer, and then you just print it off. So it's just an idea that might work. Maybe Mom would like to buy one for herself. Anyway, it's available. So there's patterns for dolls from 5-6 inches to 23-24 inch dolls. And there's dress patterns and different skirt type patterns, or how to make them, and you become your own designer. And then I had this bound with spiral. But this one, I just printed them off, and it comes like this. And when I want to draw a pattern, I will find the pattern I want, I will trace it off, and then I put it all back together again. And it's a good way to have them, because if you traced a bunch off, unless you're really well organized, it's hard to find the one you want when you want it. Now you can put them in little plastic bags and keep them separate and organized. That would be good. But we don't always do that. But if we have it all in our book here, we can soon trace them off. There's not a lot of tracing to a pattern. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. Now this is a little petticoat, A-line petticoat I made in my last video. And I thought, well, she needs a dress. So from the same pattern, by just adjusting it a little bit. This is the back, and this is the front, and the sleeve pattern. Now, this is how we made the basic pattern, was here, and then we drew it longer. And for the petticoat, I made the neck deeper and the shoulder narrower. So it was narrower up here, so that when her dress is on, her neckline is down a little ways, so it doesn't show above on the dress. But then I have the sleeve. But if you're a new sewer and never put in a sleeve, you might think, oh, that's too hard. But it really isn't. But if you want just to make a real simple dress with all in one piece, you take your pattern and you line it up like this. I got the hook was wrong. And you line it up like this. And you measure from the neckline to the length of a sleeve you want. And then you just extend it out. Say it's 2.5 inches or whatever it is, 2.5, 3. You just draw a sloped line. And then you come down to where this part of your, I made it dark so you'd be able to see it maybe better. Line it up there and extend this out. And then you just bring this down like this for your side seam, but then round it. Instead of, it would normally be more like this, but you want to round this seam. And you do that was the front, and you do the same with the back. So then all you have to do with this one is join your shoulder seams together and put a hem on this. Put a binding around the neck. See, this will be together like this. And you just put a binding around the neckline. That's only half of it. And then you see this would be extended out for your sleeve. And then just hem your sleeve, sew your side seam. Let's see. This is one that I've for demonstrations. See, this is the binding I put around the neck. Then this will be folded back like this and sewn down. And then you'll put some hook and loop tape or some domes or hooks and eyes, just something to close it with. And this one I put in a sleeve. But before I did anything with the front part, I decided I was going to make something a little bit different. So I took a piece of light fabric and cut it to the shape of the shoulder and the sleeve, and then I could make this any shape I wanted to, but I just sort of made like a, and then I stitched it on with some trim on top of it, and a zigzag stitch over the binding or the trim, and it won't fray out. And then I put excuse me. I set my sleeve in. So I thought, well, do I want a dark one there or a light one? So I thought, well, maybe a light one with some dark binding around the sleeve. And this one I thought, well, I'll do a dark one with some trim. And just put the trim here. Didn't put it here. I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. You're your designer. However you want to do these things, if it looks right to you, then it's right. And then once you get your sleeves in, you bring this down. Line up your sleeve right here so that it's lined up nice and then just stitch down here. And you stitch the other one down. This is where I sewed down to here. I could have maybe sewn that up a little bit higher. Put my hook and loop tape on it. When I had these sewn down, then I put this little ruffle on it. It's on the bias, and I gathered a little bit just to give it a little bit of trim. And then the side seam, I lined it up here and then just sewn straight down. And I didn't close the back up until after I had my trim on it, on the bottom. And this little ruffle is cut on the bias as well. I trimmed it and just gathered it a little bit to go around the neck. And then I put the binding on it and then folded it down and top stitched it under here. And it holds it nice and neat. So that's how I made my little dress. So be sure and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Leave me a comment. Be sure and touch the thumbs up. All these things help my channel. I put a lot of work into getting these little videos ready, and it's nice that people appreciate the work that goes into them. And oops. Let's see, we'll get it dressed yet. One thing you want to make sure, the cuff on your sleeve is big enough to fit over their hand, because that's quite a little distance. So you want to make sure when you measure her hand that you have that distance to go on her sleeve here. So that's, see, this is what you don't want, is her petticoat showing above her dress, but it's because it's not pulled down. She just looks a lot neater. And I'm going to have to get her a pair of shoes and things like that. I thought she kind of looked cute. And I may put another, I don't know, another little gold bow up there. Not sure. Anyway, that's my little doll with her A-line dress, and she's quite easy to do. Be sure and subscribe, touch the bell, give me a thumbs up, leave me comments. If you have any questions, be sure and email me, or leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye now.